What a finish to this game, huh? Welcome to the postgame show. How about this? There's 2:51 left to go in the fourth quarter. All right. 2 minutes, 51 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. And the Kings are down 10. The Timberwolves, to end the fourth quarter, going back to over 6 minutes left, missed 12 of 13 shots. The Kings, meanwhile, kept just, getting a little bit here, a little bit there. How about their free throws in this game? 26 of 28. 26 of 28. So after a team that was dead in the water, after looking lost for much of the season, win against Denver, and then come home and beat Minnesota with a furious fourth quarter comeback, and they win 117-112. DeMar DeRozan unstoppable when the Kings needed baskets. They made the free throws. One thing that I thought was going to really hurt the Kings, Doug Christie used all of his timeouts. For the final 8 minutes and 30 seconds, Sacramento did not have a timeout. I've never seen that before in all my years of watching basketball. And so I think had you had a timeout, the game probably wouldn't have gone to overtime. But again, when you make 26 of 28 free throws, that's going to win you a lot of basketball games. That's going to win you a lot of basketball games. So now you're 5-13. You kind of feel like, okay, right? We beat Denver as a really good team. We beat Minnesota as a good team. And a team that's not a good free throw shooting team, Sacramento, gets the job done tonight from the line, 26-28. Obviously, Keegan Murray was great, 10 of 19. He ended up playing 44 minutes. He had 26 points. He had 15 rebounds. Minnesota, just very perplexing with some of their just stupid turnovers. Hard to imagine. And listen, Anthony Edwards tried to play hero ball. And yeah, I know he had a really good game, but the Kings did a really good job on him when they had to in the under 2 minute mark. They really did. So they come back again. Think about that. You're down 10 points with 2:51 left, and you hold the Timberwolves to one basket in the final 6+ minutes. So they get the win, 117-112. This is the post-game show. Ryan is at the arena, and we'll hear from Ryno coming up in a little bit right here on If You Don't Like That. Give me a call. We are glad to take your phone calls, all right? We can go in any direction you want. Don't forget about Thanksgiving. I want to talk about this real quick, all right? We'll get to Jerry Reynolds in a minute because you can get your Thanksgiving dinner, pick it up, take it home, and enjoy from Bennett's. All you need to do is go to bennettsrestaurants.com, check out everything they can do for you on Thanksgiving. Put your order in, and you'll be good to go for Thanksgiving. They still have a few, not many, available spots to dine in. Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Again, bennettsrestaurants.com, prime seafood and steaks. But get your Thanksgiving dinner. Pick it up. You'll love it. That's at Bennett's. All right, we bring in Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, I was just given the numbers. The Kings were down 10 points with 2:51 left, and they end up sending this game to overtime. Minnesota missed 12 of 13. Keegan Murray was great. But I talk about a stat that we have not talked about enough this year, Jerry, and this to me was the difference in the game. Sacramento was 26 of 28 from the free throw line.
Yeah, down the stretch they made them. You know, I mean, and they took so much better care of the ball. They were sloppy with the ball, but compared to the Timberwolves, who just thrown it all over the yard.
Yep.
And I credit some of that. I mean, I think the Kings' defense these last couple of games has just been totally different. You know, I'll be honest. I thought at halftime, I thought they'd have a great chance to win because I mean, to me, the Timberwolves are just a one-on-one team.
That's what they are. That's exactly right.
They don't run any offense at all.
Nothing.
And of course, you know, they got a superstar player, but then the rest of the guys just basically stand around and kind of try to do something. I'm not sure they're going to be a contender unless they get a little something extra going.
I don't see how they can be a contender, but I agree with you on Sacramento's defense. Obviously, Keegan Murray has a lot to do with that, Jerry.
Oh, yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, you know, he fills all the boxes. You know, I mean, he's an outstanding defender. He rebounds, he blocks shots, and he scores at a productive rate, and does it without being selfish or you know, or demanding being a ball stopper. So, yeah, I mean, I can't. You know, if he plays like this, he's an all-star player. I know that he can do that every night or that he's an all-star level player, but he's clearly moving in the right direction.
You look at DeMar DeRozan tonight. Whenever they needed that big basket in the fourth, they went to him. And we've watched him for so long with that mid-range shot. He's just so hard to defend. He has a knack of that. I don't know if there's a better mid-range shooter in the game than DeMar DeRozan.
Not many. I mean, really, as far as actually getting shots, I mean, even Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who's considered maybe the best, but I mean, he's able to get to the basket better. But as you pointed out, I mean, with DeRozan, just getting the ball in the high post and let him work, and he's been a bucket getter his whole life, and tonight certainly. It was tough to get buckets. I mean, I'll give the Timberwolves this. They're a good defensive team.
They defend.
They're a very
defense.
good defensive team.
Yeah, they really do. They're really good on the ball defense. They're different that way. A lot of teams will look at the back end. You might have a shot blocker, and they do in Rudy Gobert, but their on the ball defense is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, that's kept them, made them a winning team really right along. And I mean, I think they obviously going to need, Jaden Daniels really wasn't much of a factor tonight, and they didn't get anything from Mike Conley, who's probably near the end. But anyway, yeah, it was. I mean, I thought the Kings defense really the last two games. I mean, and we've actually now seen them pick up and play 94 feet.
Yep.
And I think the key really is playing 10 or 11 guys and not playing anybody except maybe Keegan huge minutes. And like I said tonight, Monk hadn't played much until it really counted, and then he was a game changer.
He was a game changer. That play that he saved going out of bounds was unbelievable. May have saved the game. Jerry, when you look at Zach LaVine, he's the guy that continues to still struggle. He played 32 minutes. Are you concerned about him right now?
I think you have to be. I mean, he just wasn't a factor at all. And I mean, and especially with Zach, you're counting on his offense.
Yeah.
He had some pretty good looks. I mean, he just didn't make them. So I think the fact that they got such good production from Monk and I think really Schroeder was very good off the bench. And so it kind of made up for it. And as you pointed out, DeRozan and Keegan were terrific. So they got to, but going forward, to your point, is he's got to do more. He's got to do more and do more productively.
Jerry, I was really impressed with Precious Achiuwa tonight off the bench. I thought he was a difference maker too.
Oh, absolutely. He's really a keeper, I think. It's one of those things. I was always surprised that a couple of good teams let him go. But, he's a 26-year-old guy that has athleticism and toughness, it appears. And really, the Kings were at their best when he was playing center, when you really get down to it. And, I mean, they were small, but I mean, he's clearly a guy that you can put in there at a couple of spots. And so I think, quite honestly, as they if in fact they try to redo the team, which they should at some point, he'd be a keeper in my mind.
The only thing I didn't like about this game tonight, and there weren't many things I didn't like, because I thought the effort was tremendous. I thought the defense was really good. Yeah. The intensity, I can't fault anything, but the shot selection sometimes of Dennis Schroeder in key points of the game, it just doesn't add up to me for a guy that's got the basketball IQ that he does. I just sometimes do not understand his shot selection.
I do think that's a kind of a weakness of his. He gets into the mode where he thinks he's got to score a little too much, and he's a terrific playmaker, as we saw tonight.
Yes.
When he just focuses on being a playmaker and taking the shots that the defense gives you, he can be a very productive player. But I think, as you point out, I think it's one of those things he just feels like he's got to go create shots, and that really isn't that's not his strength. I mean, he could be a kind of like a Mike Conley was 10 years ago, that kind of player.
You talk about Mike Conley. I don't want to borrow one of your terms, but I will. He's close to being a dead horse, isn't he?
Yeah. You got to take the saddle off him. I mean, he's had a marvelous career, but it's over. And they've, it is kind of interesting just seeing the, himself and those and Gobert and how Utah kind of redid their team, getting rid of Donovan Mitchell, and they were a 50-win team. This has been about 4 years ago now, and here's Utah still still stumbling and bumbling.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's one of those deals. They were a really good team and a contender, but they just weren't good enough. And it may be another 5 years before they're that good again.
117 to 112. The Kings get the victory again, coming from 10 down with 2:51 left. Minnesota just went to Anthony Edwards is either going to win the game or lose the game for us. There was nothing else other than Anthony Edwards down the stretch for Minnesota.
No, he was it. He was great. No, there's no doubt about that. And he does play defense pretty well too. I thought it was one of those things that when the Kings got it out of Edwards' hands, that's when the Timberwolves either going to throw it away or couldn't score with it.
Yeah.
It's like if of course I think by doubling Edwards any chance they could, that was very smart because if he got you one-on-one, he's going to score.
Well, again, it's amazing. You've been in this game a long time when things can go so bad and so bad and so bad. And then you wake up the next day and you go, wow, the sun did rise, and you win a game that you're not expected to win. And it's amazing what it can do just to feel good and how sometimes it can carry it on and you can get on a little bit of a run. I know you've experienced that many times.
Oh, yeah. And it to me, it's such an emotional game. And as you've seen it, I mean, it's just like a shooter. A guy has all of a sudden starts making a few shots early in the game and he can have a huge game. And if he misses 3 or 4, a lot of them, just can't make anything. It is. And a couple of guys get going good and the other guys can join in, But I do think the thing with the total embarrassment in Memphis had to affect, if these guys professional have any professional pride, they had to come out
right
and compete, and they did, and they've done it again tonight. And the way I look at it is, okay, now we want to see it against Phoenix the next game. If you can beat Denver and you can beat Minnesota, then you should be able to beat Phoenix.
And they're playing well. They're 11
playing
and 7.
very well.
They're 11 and 7. They lost tonight, but they're a good team. They're still without Jalen Green. But, if the Kings play with this intensity and effort, there's no reason why they can't beat Phoenix.
No, they can play with just about anybody. I mean, the defense is good enough to keep them in games. And
Whoa. What did you just say?
I said I know. I said their defense is good enough to keep them in games. And
let me write that down.
Well, it's a statement I never thought I'd make about a month ago, and but darn, I mean, it's fun to watch. Minnesota, like you say, they had to struggle to get their 100 in the regulation.
They sure did. It was they scored 100 first, but it was only by 1 point, 100 to 99. The 4-point play, which was a technical foul by Anthony Edwards, and then DeMar DeRozan got fouled and made the basket, was a big part in the game when the Kings were down 10. And then that made it a 6-point game. That was an interesting sequence in the game. But again, I like the fact that there was no panic at all when this team got down by 10 with 2:51 left. They played very composed. And not only did they come back from 10 down, they came back from 10 down in less than 90 seconds.
Yeah, and of course, we all know how the NBA is. But it was a case where defensively, Minnesota had a tough time getting good shots. Anthony Edwards, for a stretch, wasn't making shots. So the Kings weren't exactly efficient offensively, but they could catch up by just scoring reasonably well. I thought it was a strange game in that regard. Neither team you'd say, were good offensively. It was a case where the Kings were pretty darn good offensively in the last 3 minutes, but probably you wouldn't say that for the whole game.
Do you think it's somewhat easier to play defense against a team like this when they're just playing iso ball, when it's going to be Anthony Edwards? Because really, the ball never moved. There was just Edwards.
Oh, yeah, very much so, because, you kind of know they're going to do it, whether it's Edwards or Julius Randle. So you're going to run and double those guys, and they don't really want to give it up. If they do give it up, usually it's backwards. For the most part, and it's not all their fault because there's no cutters.
Yeah.
There's no cutters or no movement, so you're not risking much by doubling.
I had Jim Peterson on my radio show today, and I wasn't aware of this. he was very skeptical about Minnesota currently with their record because he said they don't have a win against a team that's 500 or better. All of their wins before tonight have come against sub 500 teams. And he was talking about, so he was like, I'm not sure how good this team is. He said, because they haven't beaten anybody good yet this year. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, well, Jim certainly knows, and he knows this team, and I would agree with him. Last year they kind of started off in the doldrums and then really got it going.
Yes.
And so as we both know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So time will tell.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to those of you that won't be with us for the next game. It's a much happier holiday right now because the Kings finally look like a basketball team, something they really have not looked like for most of the season.
Yeah, it's an amazing turnaround. We just have to wait and see. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, okay, but I do need to see it again.
Yeah, I got you.
I just need to see it again, the same effort. And, if they play with this kind of effort and defensive intensity, okay, even if they lose, I'm with you. What? Yep. But that's what we need to see, the same thing. And I kind of feel like we will, but I'm not going to give them credit for something they haven't done yet.
Jerry, I appreciate you staying up late in the overtime. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I could. And, what a nice win. And, I think I'll treat myself to a beer. How about that? I think I earned it.
Have one for me.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, see you. Take care.
All right, good stuff from Jerry Reynolds. And with that said, we'll take some phone calls right here. And let's start with Dirk. Hello, Dirk. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Grant. I'm trying to hold the hype down in my own mind about what I'm seeing from Keegan Murray, but I'm starting to see a leader emerge. How about you? Does he give you any sort of leader vibes?
He just leads by example.
Yeah, he kind of, not game-wise, but he reminds me of like a bit of Kawhi Leonard's energy, where he's a guy that...
He's just a good all-around player. I've not been one to criticize Keegan Murray like a lot of other people around here. I've acknowledged that his offense has got to be more consistent, but I mean, I don't understand the underappreciation from a lot of Kings fans when it relates to Keegan Murray. I've been very open about that. So is Ryan.
Yeah, I agree. And I just think, Jerry Reynolds is talking like this is a good defensive team. And there's only one major difference. Well, Sabonis is out. But since Keegan Murray stepped in, suddenly everybody wants to play defense. Now, maybe...
Yeah, I love Jerry Reynolds to death. He's my favorite person in Sacramento other than my son. I don't agree with him that the Kings are a good defensive team.
Well, they were tonight, and I agree with Precious Achiuwa had the biggest plus minus. Man, he looked like he fit with this team. I'm wondering if
I would make this comment, Dirk. I think they're a better defensive team when they have Keegan Murray on the floor, but I don't think they're a good defensive team. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
but listen, Jerry knows a lot more than I do.
But I'm just saying, like, it's amazing that this one guy has this much impact. And that should show a lot to any Keegan haters. But I lost my train of thought. I'm assuming you got other people to talk to, so I'll just go Keegan.
No problem, buddy. You have a good night.
Well,
thank you very much. All right, we do have other calls that we want to get to right here, and we say hello to Eli. Eli, welcome. How are you?
Hey, Grant. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for calling.
Hey, yeah, just to continue on the Keegan praise. I guess it's only been 2 games, but it almost seems like he's more valuable to the team than Sabonis. Do you think it's fair to say that?
No, I don't think it's fair to say that at all. No, I don't.
No. Okay. Yeah. I guess it's only been 2 games, but I think I read somewhere that they're willing to trade pretty much any player on the team, and they said except for Keegan. I don't know if there was any validity to that report or not, or if it was.
I would agree with that. I don't think they're going to trade Keegan, and I don't think they ever had any intention of trading Keegan.
Yeah, so at this point in the season, I know that, there was a lot of doom and gloom and people were just saying like, a lot of people wanted to tank and just get some draft picks. And then there's other people who are saying, well, maybe build on some of the momentum here and maybe trade and get some better players. What should really they do at this point in the season? Because we're just at Thanksgiving.
They're 5-13.
Yeah.
They're 5-13. Go out and play every game hard and see what happens. You're 5-13. So, there's a lot of games left. We're not even to Thanksgiving yet. We're what is it, November 24th?
Mhm.
All right. I mean, like, you're November 24th. You're still near the bottom of the Western Conference standings. I mean, let's not make it seem like you won 10 games tonight. You played very, very, very well, and you won a game. Okay, but you're still 5-13.
Right. No, I agree with that. That's why I was wondering, like, because a lot of people had already given up on the season at this point. So, getting excited over 2 games is not at all what was what I was getting at. So
Well, here's the other
yeah.
issue. You when you win a game or two,
Mhm.
which is great, you can't lose sight of the big picture. And the big picture is the future for this team. It's not this year. The future is what the big picture is. You always have to keep that in sight.
Yeah, I saw the Clippers expressed interest in DeRozan as well, so maybe that's something worth looking
Yeah,
at.
but Eli, I hear the same thing. But is there any validity to that? And ask yourself, why would the Clippers want DeMar DeRozan? They're already they're an aging, depleted basketball team. What's DeMar DeRozan going to do for them? Seriously.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Well, hopefully they can build on the momentum of this, and it's been looking good at least the last two games. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right.
Eli, great hearing from you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. You too. Take care.
All right, thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Let's get to Otis. Otis, welcome.
Hey, Grant, how's it going, sir?
Good, Otis. Thanks for calling. What can I do for you?
Yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit, right? And this is just kind of being just open-minded, right? Like, so Doug Christie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the guy had me really irritated with just some of the moves, the substitutions. They weren't adding up. Didn't seem to make the substitution at the right time. Like, he'll make a sub when we're down 10, or he'll call a timeout where we go down 10. He'll call a timeout and we'll go to the bench and talk, and he'll send the same guys out. Those are crazy moves to me. But anyways, is it possible for him to get better, right? He's a rookie.
Yeah, of course.
He's a rookie. Is it possible for him to get better with humility? Maybe meeting with some of the veteran coaching staff. Maybe maybe no one's talking about it. Maybe they had a coaches only meeting, right? But is it possible for him to grow?
Anything's possible. Yeah, of course there is. I mean, listen, at some point, Pat Riley was in his first year of head coach. I mean, of course, there's always room for growth. There's always a possibility of that. I would also say this. If the Kings had lost this game at the end of regulation, Doug would have been getting roasted tonight for not having any timeouts for the final 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, I thought I coached a very good game tonight.
Yeah. And then this is the last thing I was going to say, just in regards to Doug still. So the beginning of the game starts. He has Russell in the game. Russell's not having a good start to the game. We go down 9 points. He takes him out. That's awesome right there. Put the Eagles down, and then to his credit, keeping Levine. Levine was lost today, couldn't find himself. Keep him on the bench. So good job, Doug. Keep it up. We want to see more good coaching, man. We need it. So thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's move along to some more phone calls right here on the postgame show. So happy to have you here with Lane. Hello, Lane.
Hello, Grant.
Whoa, sorry. I've lost you there. What, BJ? I'll get to you in a minute. Sorry there. Lane, I hit the wrong button. Go ahead.
Hello, Grant. I was at the game tonight, and I'm curious. So, what are your thoughts on Doug Christie? I mean, I don't think he's like a quality coach. I mean, he's like what would you call, like, not a head coach, but just below a head coach?
An assistant head coach.
An assistant head coach, and no one really wanted him. Why would we want him as our head coach, like someone who's good, like Mike Brown or something like that?
Lane, thanks for the call. I'm not going to talk about this in a negative tone tonight. They just had a big win, all right? So I'm not going to go there, but thanks for the call. Let's get to BJ. BJ, welcome to the show.
Hey, my man. How you doing? Thank you for coming. Right on. Hey, I like how, go with who's hot. And I also think that having a short leash on Levine, I don't know if he necessarily wants to be in Sacramento, but I like how Doug was playing Precious, and of course you have to play Monk. I still do believe that Keon should get more minutes, and how are we going to develop anything if you don't throw Neek out there? I mean, Neek should have like 20 minutes, 15, 25 minutes.
12 minutes tonight, and Keon played 5. You know,
That's terrible.
when you win, you can't really criticize it. If they had lost this game, then we would have been focusing in on that, along with no timeouts for the last 8.5. But they won, and they had a hell of a performance. So I can't really say much on that. I think in the big picture, you would like to see them get on the court a little bit more, but it's coach's decision.
You know what? I agree with that. That's great, and that is very true. And there's a lot of positives for tonight. I did notice that without Sabonis, the style of play is a little bit, a lot more ball movement. There's more flow, and there's better spacing. Also, defensively, when you're playing against someone like Minnesota, we got to really play. And there's nobody that can say that Keon doesn't change the fabric of the style of play, offensively and defensively. So when you get your hand in the lane, and with Monk. I think there's a lot of positives. I think if we could move some people, I heard, and I'll get off the line. I heard, and it's probably a rumor, that the Clippers would potentially want DeMar. I don't know why
I don't
they would want.
You've listened to me for a long time. I don't pay attention to this crap. I don't
that
care.
doesn't make
I don't
any
care
sense.
I mean, no disrespect to you, but so what? Like I heard
Right.
that the Kings want Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't pay attention to this stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I totally agree. It doesn't make any sense. And also, if that were to happen, I mean, well, why not? We would drive them to the airport. So I don't see that happening. It doesn't make sense for the Clippers to want someone like DeMar DeRozan. Anyways, it's just funny rumors. Love you, my man. Keep doing it.
Thank you, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you. All right, let's get to some more phone calls. Let's see if Matt is steady. Matt, you ready to go? Get that camera ready to roll. All right, there we go. All right, Matt, go ahead.
How's it going, man?
Hey, how are you, Matt?
Just want to say thank you for everything you do for Sacramento. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
I've been saying this all year. Malik Monk should start and finish games. Tonight they showed it with putting Levine on the bench. Malik Monk shows so much.
You felt nervous.
Well, in all fairness, Zach LaVine played 32 minutes tonight, and Malik played 26 minutes. And Malik
But it's about finishing the games
in crunch time.
But it's all about crunch time.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Putting a defender out there, like he's not a defender, but he's somebody that will he'll try.
Yeah.
That's what means the most is somebody that's going to put the effort in, can hit a big shot. He's not face. He'll go to the rim. Levine will go to the rim in the beginning of the game, but it's more if he settles for a 3-point shot or looks for his own. Malik has a better passing game. I just think Malik's a better player for a team like us who DeRozan is better to have with the team because DeRozan can create a shot by himself. He's going to take his shots, but to spread the court and to be able to, sorry.
Matt, I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a little advice off the air just for next time because I do appreciate you being on the show. You look like you're in the middle of an ocean on a rowboat. Just put your phone down, prop it up against something, and then talk, all right? Because it's really distracting. I really appreciate you taking the time to call the show, but just, make it a little bit more steady next time. Jose, welcome to the show. Hello, Jose.
Hello, Grant. I'd like to talk about Murray. Would you say Murray's at this point is our best player?
Well, without Sabonis, yes, I would say he's your best player.
Since you bring up Sabonis, would you say that the Kings lately have been playing better without Sabonis?
Well, they've only played basically a handful of games, so I wouldn't say they played better against Memphis without Sabonis.
Yeah, well, we beat the Bucks.
They played well against Denver, but tonight they played well. So listen, I'm not going to rat on Sabonis. I think he's a tremendous player. He's unbelievably talented, and I'm never going to say the Kings are better without Sabonis because I don't think they are.
Yeah, for sure. I actually agree with that. Okay, Grant. Yeah, that's the only questions I have.
Thank you, Jose. Have a good night. Appreciate you. Let's get to Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the show. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Grant. Amazing game. And is Ryno coming in?
Yeah, he'll be on. He's
later?
down at the press
awesome.
conference right now. He'll be joining us.
My question is, a big criticism we had throughout the season is Doug Christie not playing our young players and defensive players, Keon Ellis and Nick Clifford specifically. But this game, Doug made some really good calls to keep players who were hot in, which was
I agree.
Precious Achiuwa and Malik Monk. And like what the others said, like sitting down Levine and sitting down Schroeder. Really. So should we take this over playing our defensive players, or should we still like advocate for him to keep playing our defensive talent?
It's a great question. First and foremost, you try to win the game.
For sure.
And when the game is winnable, like it is tonight, then you don't worry about minutes for certain players. You try to win the game. If the game's out of reach, then you go into a different mindset. So there are a lot of variables involved. I can't just answer that question with a direct yes, this is the way it has to be.
We still have,
every game's different.
Already. Many more games to go. This is looking a good start for maybe a good push or run. Thanks, Grant.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Don't forget, Ryan will be joining us in a couple of moments from the arena. Hey, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fixed view. They're available around the clock 24/7. Call 916-713-1010. That's 916-713-1010 or newworksplumbing.com, NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fixed view. Again, water heaters, water line repair, sewer repair, water filtration, gas lines, they do it all. And they're available 24/7. That's New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. So happy to have you here on the post game again. Ryan will be joining us here in a little bit. Keep those messages coming right along. One thing you have to be careful of is making too many observations on a player, pro or con, on a very short sample size, right? I mean, Domantas Sabonis's body of work is such that I'm not going to come on here and say the Kings are better without him, because I think that's just idiotic. They're not better without him. If you had Sabonis and Keegan Murray on the front line, and you have a full team on the floor, which they have not done yet this year, then we can see how this team looks, right? One thing I think you can say with a great deal of certainty is that the Kings are a better team when Keegan Murray is on the floor. That I think you can say without any reservation, without any hesitation, that when he's on the floor, they're a better team. So, keep the big picture in mind, okay? The big picture is you're 5-13. You've won 2 in a row, which is great, against 2 good teams. I don't know if Minnesota's really good or not, based on the fact they haven't won a game this year against a team that's 500 or better. But I like the way they fought back. They're down 10 with 2:51 left, and I thought one of the biggest plays in the game was Minnesota got a key rebound during that stretch, and Dante DiVincenzo had the ball on the baseline under his own basket, and he had Julius Randle right in front of him when he went out of bounds to save the ball, and instead he threw it back into play, and it got picked off by Keegan Murray. I think it was Keegan Murray, and that to me was a huge sequence, and then the Kings scored, I think, a 3, and that was a big momentum change right there. Simple out of bounds. He had the ball. He had Randall right in front of him, and he went to throw it further up the court, and it got picked off. Big play in the game. Big play on the game. All right, if you want to call us, we've already had a lot of calls. Good to hear from Jerry Reynolds as well. Very happy for that. The roster construction is still pretty atrocious. Agreed, it is. All right. So we'll see. We'll see. Said players should see the fans' energy and be thankful. They have to believe that they have a reason to win for each other, for the fans, and for the season. They love the game. I would agree with that. Minnesota is legit. I don't think they're legit. I disagree with you. I'm not ready to go that they're legit. I'm just not. I don't think so. I don't think so. Quite an amazing turnaround the last 2 games. No question. Monk picked it up. Yes, he did. He really did. He really did. Malik was tremendous in this game. Said Keegan's going to work his ass off guarding the best players. His teammates don't follow suit. They let him down. You're right. No question. Achua is serviceable in the front line. Need to sit Levine, DeMar, Schroeder a little bit more. We'll see. Player of the game to me was Keegan Murray. But I mean, DeMar DeRozan was tremendous. Monk was tremendous. Remember, they're down 10 points with 2:51 left. They're down 10 points with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left. Minnesota missed 12 of their final 13 shots. They did the exact same thing the other night in Phoenix when they lost to the Suns. I thought Minnesota lost this game in the first 6 minutes. They had a chance to blow the Kings off the floor at the beginning of the game, and they didn't take advantage of it. Even Jim Peterson, I was watching the Minnesota feed tonight, made the same point in the fourth quarter that he thought that the difference in this game was the first quarter. And I agree with him. They should have been up 15 points or more, and they had so many opportunities after opportunities after opportunities, and they didn't take advantage of it. They did not take advantage of it. So I think when you look at the first quarter, I'm looking at it as that's a big key when I reflect back on the 53 minutes played tonight. Hey, DAS Mechanical, Heating and Air. Folks, when it comes to HVAC retrofitting and service, DAS Mechanical, they are outstanding. Family owned and operated. I've met the owner and I've gotten to know their business model, and I now know why they receive so many 5-star reviews and numerous best of the best awards. Go online. You can book and look at everything at dasmechanical.org, serving Placer and Sacramento counties, dasmechanical.org. I hope you don't need a new system, but if you do, they have rebates currently up to $6,000 and financing available with no interest for 18 months. But remember, HVAC retrofit and service, that's what they specialize in. They do a great job. And you can also take advantage of their $69 winter maintenance check going on for the rest of this month. So you got to hurry on that. That's dasmechanical.org for all of your heating and air needs. All right. Ryan expected to join us here in a little bit. We appreciate all the people that are following us here. How about a home win, too? The last home win was against the Warriors, and that was a scrimmage because both teams didn't have anybody on the floor. Boy, that seems like forever ago, huh? That seems like forever ago. And when you look now, the Kings have just moved ahead by a half game over the Dallas Mavericks. The bottom of the West is terrible. It really is. I mean, it's hard to believe. You know, the 10th place team in the East is Boston at 9-8. The 10th place team in the West is Memphis at 6-12. Boy, that's brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Let's get to the Lone Star State and Jeff. Jeff, thanks for calling. How are you, Jeff?
Hey, Grant, how's it going, man?
Good, Jeff.
Hey, I had a few funny things, and it was a fun game to watch for sure.
Yeah.
But the point where Russell threw the ball away, and I was like, God damn it, Russell, and then immediately stole it back and threw it to Keegan for the three. I was just shaking my head like that's what the Kings are rolling with.
Yeah, they got a big break there.
And I'm not dogging anyone. I thought it was funny. So Mark Jones dropped the volunteers, not prisoners line. And then Katie dropped the Mark has the crystal ball, which you say that a bit when you say you don't have a crystal. And then Mark also dropped the roll his sleeves up. So I heard those three things. I don't think it was a coincidence or not, but I found it pretty funny.
I didn't watch the game. I watched the Minnesota feed, so I can't really comment on what was said. I was watching.
Oh yeah, I knew you did. I thought it was funny. That's all. I wasn't trying to bag on anybody.
No problem.
Thanks,
Jeff,
Grant.
I appreciate it. Anything else?
Just rooting for the Longhorns this weekend. It's going to be a big game. I work at UT at the power plant on campus. So.
Oh wow! Is that game Friday or Saturday?
It is Friday.
Okay.
And I'll be working,
That's gonna be a dandy.
I can see the stadium from the power plant. So.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait for that game. I can't wait for that game.
I'll make sure I'll call you next week and let you know how it was.
Yeah, please do. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
All right, Grant. See you, bud.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, there's some big time games coming up this week. That's going to be a dandy. That's going to be a heck of a game. All right. Again, the Kings get the win in overtime tonight. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they do it with a run. They scored 10 points in like 90 seconds when they were down 10 with 2:51 left. Game looked over. I mean, it really did. It looked over, and they kept battling, and they made some threes. They also were fouled and made threes that way. Big time. Big time. 117-112. The Kings win in overtime. 2 straight wins. Now 5-13. 5-13. Am I ready for Christmas? No, I'm not even ready for Thanksgiving. All right. How's that for you? Elsewhere tonight, the Rockets beat the Suns 114-92. The Warriors over the Jazz 134-117. Pelicans win. They score 143. How about that? They scored 143 points. They beat the Bulls 143-130. The Blazers over the Bucks 115-103. Nuggets knocked off Memphis 125-115. Heat 4 better than the Mavs. Knicks beat the Nets in Brooklyn. Raptors over the Cavs in TO. And the Pistons win a game again. They're unbelievable. 122-117. The Pistons now are 15-2. Raise your hand if you had the Pistons at 15-2. Wow. That's unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. Man. But you look at the teams that are not right now in the top 10. Look how bad this is. Utah 5-12. The Clippers are 5-12. The Kings are 5-13. Dallas is 5-14. New Orleans is 3-15. That's putrid. That's horrible. I mean, that's just terrible. It really is. Bad. Really bad. Man. Pistons turnaround is incredible. It's absolutely unbelievable. Incredible is right. All right. No football questions on a Kings postgame show. Save it for my radio show tomorrow at 3 o'clock, or I'll be on tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So you can ask me football questions tomorrow at 7 o'clock. All right. Brutal schedule is behind us. Do me a favor. Go look at, well, I'll do it for you. I don't agree with you that the brutal schedule is behind them. You ready for this? Okay. Let me read the schedule coming up, because I don't agree with you. All right. After tonight, you have Phoenix. Then you're at Utah. Then Memphis. So I would agree with you. The schedule gets lighter this week. Then you're at Houston, and you're at Miami, at Indiana, which you should be able to win. All right. Then you have a home and home with Portland. Then you have Houston, Detroit. So I don't know about that. Ryno, heck of a fun game tonight. I was given all the numbers. The Kings were down 10 points with 2:51 left. Minnesota, over the last 6 minutes plus, missed 12 of 13. The Kings didn't have any timeouts in the final 8.5 minutes of the game, which I thought was going to really come into play when they needed to get a timeout and run a play. But they were able to hold on. A gutty performance with a lot of big time step-ups like Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, no doubt about it. DeMar becomes 24th on the all-time scorers list, passing Alex English, who he said tonight was one of his mentors. But that was spurred by a 7-0 run by Malik Monk on his own, and then that sparks the team. The one thing that I would say, and it didn't directly get asked, it kind of beat around the bush, but I was wondering, because the Kings were down 11 at that point when Doug took that timeout, and all the momentum was with Minnesota. I wonder if the thinking was, we've got to change it now, or it's just going to be a blowout. And so that's why he did the challenge. He was successful, but on your second challenge, you lose your timeout. So whether they were aware of that or not, who knows, but it works out in the end.
Yeah, because it's odd that you don't have a timeout in the final 8.5, but I didn't have a problem with that challenge at that point in the game, even though you didn't score on the ensuing possession and they got the ball back. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't.
I didn't either. And we were kind of looking around trying to figure it out amongst like the people or us in the media up here. But to give you just a quick report from down low, if I had to summarize tonight in one name, it's Keegan Murray. DeMar DeRozan all but actually did come out and say this is Keegan's team. And Doug Christie talked about how special Keegan is. I asked Doug about the front line. I thought Precious, Max, and Keegan played incredibly well. I asked Keegan about that. He said that we're able to switch 1 through 5. It's closer to our base defense that we want to run. And look, when the Kings have Keegan Murray on the floor, it just gives them so much ability to make up on the back end of a play. Now, granted, it's also allowing them to get out in transition, which is good. They won the points in the paint again tonight, which is the 4th time in 5 wins that they win the points in the paint. But tonight is all about Keegan Murray, and he is clearly, Grant, he is not the star you build around, but right now he's the guy that you build around.
Well, I'm just happy that he's finally, okay, is being appreciated by more people than we've seen in the past, based on what I've heard on the last post-game show and before you got on tonight, both with chat messages and phone calls. And you and I have been very consistent about this. I think people have had their blinders on by not giving this guy enough credit. I really do. And you know, Jerry has always been a huge Keegan Murray player. I don't think you watch the game closely enough if you're a detractor of Keegan Murray. I don't understand it.
You're watching one thing, the ball go through the bucket.
Yeah.
If you're a detractor of Keegan Murray's, he legitimately can guard 1 through 5. Doug talked about it tonight. He said, I think it was in response to maybe my question. He said, I understand what Keegan Murray has to give up. I understand how special what he's doing is because I had to do it when I was on the Kings. And it takes one to know one, and heck of a victory for a team tonight coming off of the long road trip.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, let's get to Serbia, and we say hello to Baki and his beautiful daughter. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
We're gonna late for school.
And I'm mad at him. He's like, "Oh, I learned the show, and I'm gonna be late for school."
Okay,
I'm in
go.
Dad,
So,
take her to school. Would you do the right
yeah.
thing, please?
More important, Baki.
I'm gonna say two things. The first, can you hear me well?
Yes.
That's the first one.
Yes.
Holy
Okay.
moly, Jimbo Bowie, bye.
So the first thing, do you agree we have a move of the season with Malik Monk jumping for the ball?
Have the what?
The save that Malik Monk made, was that the play of the season?
You know, it was,
Yeah,
and
play
it
of
was a
the
good thing
season,
there wasn't a replay on that because his leg was actually down before he released the ball. But it was an unbelievable play. Yeah, it saved the game, in my opinion.
I don't think I ever seen the player jump for the ball like that. I saw it on soccer and I saw it in tennis maybe, but in basketball to do it like that, like he does, I mean, this is crazy.
Big play.
And for my opinion, the most, maybe not the quality one for the season, but the most interesting game so far in the season, not only for the Kings, but the whole NBA. This was crazy interesting game to see, and a lot of things we can discuss about, but we don't have time. A lot of things, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but really a lot of things.
Yeah, tonight was mostly good. There weren't a lot of bad things tonight. It was mostly good.
Yeah,
well,
but
hold on. The starters, let me give you this. The starters were not good outside of Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray outscored all of the rest of the starters combined in the first half. You only had 9 points in the first quarter at the 6-minute mark from the starters. You only got 9 points at the 6:30 mark of the third quarter. So it was the same slow start, or excuse me, the second quarter. So same slow starts.
I think also the bench, our bench beat their bench by
killed
10
them
or more. Yeah.
So, they talked about that on the Minnesota telecast. Yeah. I thought Minnesota lost the game in the first 6 minutes. They had a chance to go up by big time numbers.
They had a chance in fourth as well. So I think this game show us if we're gonna talk bad things. I'm not the one. I'm gonna start the bad things. There is too much good things tonight. But
we're not talking negatively tonight. There's mostly positive.
This game is showing. Yeah, this game is showing us exactly the things we are missing in our roster, and that's the size and one extra star player, because they have Edwards, and a lot of teams in the NBA have the star like that who can draw fouls whenever he wants. So Edwards did the thing tonight, but when they start to double and start to change our defense into 2 and 3 zone, it comes with the result, and he got confused a little bit. But the size could decide this game because they are definitely but Achua show up in the last quarter. I mean, crazy stuff from Achua.
Well, he was doing that. I mean, yeah, he was playing well again. The flexibility that front line, and again, this team is still small. They need to be bigger, but that was about as athletic as we have seen the Kings all season.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree. I agree.
If
Baki, go ahead. Final word, Baki.
yeah, final word. If we can get this with Keegan Murray developed something which I didn't expect. I must be honest. Seeing this tonight, this is really good, positive way for Keegan Murray to develop into a really good player.
Thank you, Baki. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Bucky.
Again, I'm not being negative here. I didn't need to see tonight for me to appreciate Keegan Murray and realize how effective he is.
No. Remember on media day, he was asked about this summer and he said, I felt like I was catching a good flow. It was the first time I got out of Sacramento in my career during the summer. And he brought that up again tonight and he reinforced that. And they were asking about his aggression. And it seems like every year he just comes back a little bit better, a little bit more fine-tuned. And Doug put that a couple of times a couple of different ways. But here's the other thing, Grant. Keegan is 4 games back. He looks like he had a training camp. He looks like a guy that's played 16, 17 games.
Yeah, he played 44 minutes tonight.
Much credit to him for keeping himself in shape. He is a consummate professional in your 4th, 5th year, consummate professional.
Yep. All right, let's get to Gunther. Hello, Gunther. You're on the program with Grant and Ryno.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to chime in on the game. I know it's like you guys told me last time it's too early to talk about tanking because, we're only 20 whatever games in. But what about the plan? I mean, I know that we're only 1 game back from the plan. So, I mean, it's just I'm back and forth. I'm a little torn. Am I supporting tanking or am I supporting getting into the plan? It's just when they win a game, I feel let's go for the plan. When they lose a game, I'm like, okay, let's tank. So
that's why you can't look at a season on a game-to-game basis. You have to look at it in 5 to 10 game increments. You can't look at a game based on 48 minutes in an NBA season. You can't. It's stupid. And I don't mean you're stupid. I mean it, but it doesn't make any sense. You can't do it that way. I think the big picture always has to remain in focus for this team. Getting into the play-in to me is not going to get this team anywhere. It's going to actually retard their development because you're going to be playing Oklahoma City if you're good enough to win as a 9th or a 10th seed. You get a chance to play Oklahoma City in the first round. That's not going to do you any good. So if you really want to look at the big picture, the draft coming up is very, very strong, at least at the top. And it appears to be. Yes, there are players that sometimes don't materialize, but I think that is the best way for this franchise to get out of the doldrums that they're in.
Gotcha. Okay. And one more thing. I mean, we got the Suns coming up here. The Kings do. Dylan Brooks, I feel like he's a, very polarizing player, but I kind of like him. It's like every team he goes up against, there's always one player that he, kind of gets irritated by him. I think DeRozan is a guy maybe on our team that gets irritated by him. But, every single other team, I feel like at least one guy will get annoyed by him. And I feel like that's a good thing to have on a team. And, I mean, what do you guys think about his game? I feel like, he actually helps the team. And I kind of look forward to seeing him play. I mean, what do you guys think about him? And I'll take my answer offline. Thanks.
He's a pest. That's the best way I can say it, Ryno. He's a pest.
You just took the words out of my mouth, but he, while he does border into dirty at times, he's one of those guys that we talk about that are just natural defenders that are born a certain way, that see the basketball game a certain way, and kind of like your head coach, Doug Christie. You're born with it.
They got beat badly tonight. The Suns did. They lost badly, 114-92. They offensively were completely stymied by the Houston Rockets. They shot only 41% and 13 of 37 from downtown, which is not bad, but they took a lot of threes. They were a little bit sloppy with the ball tonight, 21 turnovers, which I think Houston can force you into that. But it was a real sloppy performance tonight by the Suns, and we'll see what happens on Wednesday in Sacramento.
Yeah, the Kings don't have the length, but now that you have Keegan Murray back, if Doug plays a similar rotation, I don't mind the matchup. The Suns aren't super big.
No.
One thing Keegan talked about tonight, everybody watching that's come at me saying, we need to shoot more threes. That's what I've been saying. Keegan said it right there flat tonight. He said the rest of the NBA is doing it. When we get out in transition, it opens up those opportunities more. So he's in line with our thinking. 30 to 35 is enough for this team.
Good job tonight, buddy. We'll look forward to the radio show tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I will be on here tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, 1 hour after I get off Fox Sports Sacramento, and we'll have an open forum Tuesday. That's tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Any final thoughts?
DSC and those telling me in the chat to drive safe. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here this late. I started getting one last thought. I started getting text messages about something Jerry said. Did things get out of hand here before I showed up?
Yeah, he actually said the Kings are a good defensive team. And I said, whoa. What'd you just say? And then I went like this, and I'm like, what? So, yeah.
All right. Very good. I figured if I'm getting text messages about it, that means it probably did. So
all right,
appreciate you, Grant. Appreciate everybody.
Talk to you tomorrow. Take care. That's Ryno from the arena. Good stuff right there. We'll say goodbye to him, and we'll say goodbye to you. Don't forget, 3 o'clock tomorrow, Fox Sports Sacramento. The beam is lit again. That's a beautiful thing in downtown Sacramento against the Minnesota Timberwolves. The last time they were in Sacramento, they embarrassed the Kings and put 144 on the board tonight. Tonight, the Kings got their payback, and they win in overtime. Appreciate your support. Thank you very much. If you're not with us tomorrow or Wednesday, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great holiday. Thank you very much. Kings win. They beat the Timberwolves in overtime. Until tomorrow, Grant Napier saying so long, everybody.